Hello everyone, I am Fabian with WeaponsUniverse.com, and today we're going to be talking about brass knuckles, which is one of the best close combat weapons ever invented. Now, brass knuckles are basically a small bludgeoning or punishing weapon designed to be worn across your knuckles, kind of like you're wearing four rings. And it's used to greatly improve your punching power. Okay? Now, knuckles are small enough to hide in your pocket. They're easily concealable. They're lightweight, and they're extremely effective and dangerous. And this is exactly why they've been popular amongst thugs and gangsters, including the infamous Al Capone, who was actually notorious for using these in a brutal fashion. But brass knuckles are also known as knuckle dusters. If you live in the UK, the Germans call them punch rings. Other people call them just knucks or knuckles. You might hear some other nicknames out here on the internet or something. But brass knuckles, they've been around for many years. They even trace back to the Civil War days. There's been archaeological sites dug up, and you can see. I'll show you some of the pictures of the kind of knuckles that they used to make. And you got to understand, they only made these by hand, and they were made from different materials back then, mainly brass. But it has a history behind it, and it mostly goes back to also to the World War I and World War II with the trench knife. This is what you would call the trench knife that was used in the trench warfare during that period of time. It's a deadly weapon for many different reasons here, and but even spies and other special forces would carry a finger grip type of knife like this, and this type of weapon has evolved over the years. But for modern consumer use, you take off the blade, and what do you got? A pair of brass knuckles. That's a little bit of the history behind this innovative weapon, but it goes back. Humans have always been creative, even since Roman gladiator days, making those battle gloves or adding or attaching things to making themselves more deadly in their warfare. But here we are, modern day version, and it has a great track record for being very effective self-defense device. So now, one of the things that you'll realize when you start shopping around for your brass knuckles is that there's so many different types, and you'll discover different variations. And so you might ask yourself, well, which one should I get? Which one's the best? And we're going to actually answer that question by showing you the different types that are out there and that are now available on our website that you can take a look at. And it just gives you an idea of what may be your favorite, because there's different colors, different materials, different even sizes and other traits. But it all comes down to your personal preference. So now, one of the first things you'll notice when you clench your fist around brass knuckles is that you have a rock solid grip. That's because the knuckles are supporting your hand. It's like reinforcing your fist. And these are truly designed to drastically improve your punching power. And that's because of this palm brace that's all on the bottom. Now, you will find almost all practically nunchucks have this palm brace. It's a very important part of how this helps you in combats. As you see, the palm brace goes against the palm when you're holding the knuckles, and when you go to impact something, the force is more distributed, to your palm instead of your bony knuckles. As some of you may well know, a bare knuckles punch fight, your hand is susceptible to injury, and that's just a fact. And a lot of guys are actually affects them psychologically when they go into a fight, because they're concerned, okay, I'm gonna fight this guy, but I hope I don't hurt my hand. Okay, now that's natural too. So when you have a pair of brass knuckles, you know that in the back of your mind that your punches are going to be protected and that your strikes are going to hit harder And you also know that they know, your opponents, that you are more dangerous with these. Hopefully that's enough to be the deterrent. So now, brass knuckles, this just becomes like a prop or like something you hide in your pocket. It's kind of like an insurance policy. Hopefully you never have to use it, right? But if you do, it's right there and within distance. Okay, so you guys gotta understand that this is a tool. Just like you would maybe buy something self-defense like a butterfly knife, you have to get used to that knife. Or nunchucks, you have to learn how they work. It's the same with brass knuckles. And actually, in order for them to protect you can see that they go across your hand kind of like a guard. And it's actually your own shield. And so when you go into a situation, if you ever find yourself in that situation, you're not concerned. You have the opposite emotion. You're actually confident that you're not going to, first of all, hurt your hand and that you have more power. Okay? So speaking of which, we really honestly have to say you should understand that this is a very deadly weapon. And so you have to be very responsible. You can hurt somebody with these. I mean, just think about this. This is one piece solid metal. Gently tap your... I mean, that doesn't feel good, you guys. And just imagine a full force coming down upon your head. All right? These, listen to me, these can fracture or shatter someone's bones. You can maim or even kill somebody. So that has to be a serious consideration before even using them. And if you ever have to, just make sure you're only doing this for self-defense purposes. So now, one of the things you got to say about brass knuckles, like nowadays, even though in the modern days they still call them brass knuckles, just don't automatically assume that they're made out of brass, because most likely, almost always, they're not going to be made out of brass unless you're specifically looking for those. Because you have to understand that it's not a precious metal, brass, but it is an industrial material, a metal that's strong, heavy, and it is expensive material to make knuckles or anything out of. So the companies that make brass knuckles are starting to do them in other cheaper, lighter materials, even color-coded metals. So they come in like pot metal alloys, stainless steel. They're made out of even like aluminum, which is a lighter metal, and even carbon fibers or plastics, which is the lightest model. I'll be showing some of the plastic knuckles. And so this also, understand that that affects the weight, whatever it's made out of. For example, on one of the plastic knuckles, these are just as effective. You guys got to understand that as long as they're hard surface and that you're using them properly, they're going to be effective. And I had to go back to that. What's important is to hold them correctly when you're using brass knuckles. Okay, because you're going to see some comments maybe online or something that you're going to break your own hands with brass knuckles. That's because you're not. Those people don't understand that you can actually hold them a certain way. And let me explain. You have your 3 sets of knuckles, your top, middle, and the bottom ones. So put the knuckles on, see where they're at, and just all you have to do is make sure they're below the second set of knuckles. And then when you have you're holding them and using them, your tool like this, you can hit anything without worrying about your knuckles. I just showed you, just demonstrated that as long as you are holding the knuckles, again, you're going to be protecting your hand, your punches. And that is such an important factor in this melee combat situation. You have no fear in most circumstances, and you have this confidence, you have this powerful resource and tool. So, now, another thing, since you have to understand that the manufacturers don't advertise them or sell them as brass knuckles. These are advertised or sold as belt buckles, which seems kind of funny, but you got to understand that this is an item, a weapon that could have different laws. It does have different laws, and you are responsible to check your own local laws and make sure that you're either able to own them in your home or as a self-defense device. Every country, and you're going to have to check either your district attorney's office, ask a police officer, or other resources online. So now, what they call them, you'll even see, on the packaging, it's going to say belt buckle or heavy duty belt buckle, and sometimes even have a little picture of a knuckle with a belt buckle. And I will show you also on this second camera that I'm also going to be going back and forth with other footage that we took earlier. So cut back and forth, and I'll cut back and forth with this close up. You can see it comes with a little screw. Okay, it's all so. What I'm explaining this for is, if you receive something in a mail and it says belt buckle, do not be concerned. You didn't get the wrong item. That's the way they're labeled. That's the way they're printed on the packaging. So now, the main knuckle that most people are familiar with is the classic traditional style. This is like the original type of design. That's why they call it the traditional. And then you're going to start seeing, because I explained they're made in different metals now, like stainless steel is actually the main metal, and they're able to have different colors, and which is pretty cool, because now you have some options and styles and different artwork, and like I'll show you in this camera too. You have colors like gold, and you have chrome, copper, like an antique color. We have like we have a black. This is an interesting grenade with a pin on it as a little novelty thing, but it's just as effective. You gotta understand, even though they look cute and funny or stylish or pretty amazing or even fantasy type, as you can see, this knuckle right here is a fantasy. I mean, I can't say how practical certain designs are, but they're definitely something that people collect. And this is an example of those, but you could just actually be, this is the knuckle that you're going to be using. Now, I want to explain something. This is why the sizing is not as important as we used to think. Now, we thought maybe if it's real tight, like jewelry almost, that it's the best situation, but not real. That isn't exactly correct, because when you do hold it the correct, safe way, you will notice that's why these the space is important. Because if it's really tight fitting like this, then it's going to have a jarring effect against your own knuckles. That's why the whole palm brace is keeping you away from that. And that's why you can have a full force on the rings part of the brass knuckles. So there's, like I said, you're going to have different colors even in the classic style, if you want. So when it comes to the material that you're going to buy your knuckle on, it's just a matter of preference, you guys. Like I said, even the plastic ones, you hold it the correct way below those second knuckles, you can hit anything. You can hit concrete, wood, skull. I mean, if that's what you're going to do, you got to understand that this is an extremely effective weapon. So now these ones, you can see they're only like 2 ounces. And you see how it was plastic, and this is one that's actually made out of brass. You can hear the difference. So you're gonna say, will that make a difference in a self-defense situation? Yes, of course. But it is a price concern, because between a regular brass knuckle, you would say is like $9, but brass, boom, suddenly the cost goes way up to like 5 times or 10 times. That's why I explained earlier, you guys, brass is expensive, and that's why now you have options, price point options, what you're willing, or what you're willing to pay for and invest in your self-defense. So I personally, you can see in our website, we have many different kinds. I'll be showing some pictures sometimes on the screen. There's many different, like my favorite are Renegades. This is the classic design. And some of them are smaller. If you have small or petite hands, make sure you get the ones labeled medium. There's not really that many called small, but the medium ones are smaller holes. And I want to say, for example, we're one of the biggest we are the biggest company in the world for brass knuckles, and have been since 2005 when we first went online. But we've been selling knuckles since 1995 otherwise. So, for example, we manufacture these, and they're the Constantine brass knuckles, which have been, were one of the, that one doesn't come out very well. Let me show you this other one, which is another cool idea we innovated, is like a gradient type of color design, which is a pretty interesting effect. But this is the knuckle that was used in Constantine with Keanu Reeves, and there's a scene where he's fighting a demon, okay, with a pair of brass knuckles. So we thought that was going to be really, it's been one of our best-selling knuckles. But you're going to see fantasy knuckles. You're going to see spike knuckles. I'll show you here too. Spikes. I mean, and like I said, you're going to get some, you know, that trench knife. We have a bunch of pocket version size. It's just like a little trigger-assisted opening knife, but it is a really cool knife. These are extremely popular, and we have many different designs on our site. You can take a look. And speaking of which, on our brass knuckles on our site, we actually will engrave. So it's funny, it sounds funny, but a lot of people have actually ordered these for weddings for their groomsmen and had each one like put engraved with their name. And you guys can be creative. We can engrave a symbol, an artwork for you on your knuckle. And as you can see, there is space for artwork on certain palm braces. Like this palm brace is just open. You can't do this really an engraving, maybe on the bottom if you want something like that. But this is the main ones we can do, like a really big art picture for you or logo or anything you desire. All you have to do is ask, and we have an excellent customer support. We answer the emails. If you have any questions about knuckles or just advice, we're there for you guys. We are really good experts at these the weapons that we're selling. We have all different types of self-defense products. You can take a look at our website. This is a general idea. I'll finish up real quick with these newer knuckles that are gigantic. Now, like I told you, if the knuckle is made out of brass, it's going to be more heavier as well. Like a standard knuckle is, well, the plastic is around 2 ounces or even less, and then a smaller knuckle about 3-4 ounces. You know, the standard knuckle is about 4 or 5 ounces. Now we're getting up to the brass. It's all of a sudden up to almost a pound. But we started making ones even more like 1.5 pound knuckle. And here's a beast that's 2 pounds practically. It's not made for my hand, but it's one of those big burly guys out there. We got you covered, okay? So we're very creative and innovative. Like for example, we did one with a hemp leaf. If you have some ideas like this, we'll make your knuckles especially the way you want them. This is all for today. We'll be coming out with more brass knuckles video. I want to be talking more about just the brass, and I have to make a mention, when you see sites saying that they have real brass knuckles, what that simply means is they sell brass knuckles that are made out of brass as well, and of course all the other metal type of brass knuckles out there. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to just write comments or visit our website, Weapons Universe, and we will also we can ship right to whatever country you are in, any state that you're in. We ship rush shipping if you want. And thank you for watching this video, guys. Stay tuned. You want to subscribe to all the different types of weapons videos, self-defense videos we have coming out. Please like this video, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.